Hello and welcome to the final bell, the final bell of season 2025, proudly presented by GMHBA, the official health insurance partner of the Geelong Cats. Big thank you to GMHBA for their support throughout this season and the fact that we can bring you this podcast. As we love to do every single week, I am joined by Meg McDonald to talk all things grand final. Meg, it's not going to be the most positive podcast we've done. We know that, let's be honest about it, but it's also... It has been a positive season. It hurts so much when the season doesn't end the way we want it to, but it has been a wonderful season, barring this end result. Hello and welcome to
Lingy,
you.
I can hear it in your voice, and I must say, those listening, you're the real ones because if you've stayed for the grand final pod, you mustn't be like any other Cats fan or how I felt in the past 4 days, which is I don't want to watch an interview, I don't want to watch highlights, I don't want to. Sort of engage in it because if you don't, then you are left with it was a great season.
It is.
I sound so defeated.
No, I know, but it does pose that eternal question: would you rather not be here and not put yourself in that position of feeling the pain we're all feeling right now, and just be gone weeks ago or whatever it might be, or would you rather feel like this, having had the shot at the glory and the joy and the happiness, but the other side of the coin is the utter devastation that all Cats people are feeling right now, and the coaches and players certainly even deeper. I would still rather be there right at the pointy end, being involved in it, relevant right to the end of the season. But geez, it can bring some pain with it.
Yeah, can't it? Yes, I know Chris Scott speaks all the time about the emotional risk of competing, and I was reminded on Saturday morning as I was making my way into the CBD, you had a function, and it was a glorious day, as it so often is on grand final day. And at that point of the day, all I could think was what a privilege it is to work for, play for, be associated with a club that puts itself in this position all the time. There are so many clubs in the league. The club I grew up going for in the Kangaroos who are struggling so much, who seem to be perpetually in the depths, and we're perpetually up there and giving us a shot. So that was a lovely portion of the day, feeling positive, feeling up and about. I was doing a Q&A and I was asked how nervous I was, and I was like, well, I'm not nervous. So obviously it's my fault, guys. But no, I think I was in a headspace where I thought, so I've got Leah Williamson, who's the captain of Arsenal in England, over there. I saw an interview where she spoke about, this team, why fear losing? Then you don't get to enjoy winning. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I won't fear losing. I'm just going to enjoy the whole day, and hopefully it turns out and we'll cross the bridge of defeat when we come to it, which we did late in the third quarter. That's when it hit.
We did. It felt awful. You're right. That juxtaposition of the scenes between pre-game and probably with 5 minutes to go in that third quarter. I ran into Tommy Hawkins back in the backstage of where we were doing some of the pre-game stuff with the media. Big hugs, their moons winded over, big hugs, like smiles, come on boys, this is great, this is what a day. The hopefulness, so many Cats fans flooding into the MCG, and they were up and about, and the Brisbane Lions fans were beautiful as well. They're like, all the best for the day, may the best team win, that sort of thing. It's all positive, it's all happy, and unfortunately it didn't end that way. We know the result, so I don't need to go back over that. At halftime, scores were dead level, 5 goals, 6 apiece. I think was the first time since 1909.
Wow,
that we'd been level at halftime, and then.
Were you worried by the low scoringness of the level? Did you think that's just grand final footy?
No, I wasn't worried about it. I thought, this is arm wrestling. This is pressure was immense. The tackles were sticking. The bodies were flying. I thought, no, this has got a grand final element to it. I thought it would break.
Yeah.
The game would break open. Now, of course, with my optimism and my positivity, we've had the week off after having won the qualifying final. We've got Maxie Holmes and Bailey Smith and Ollie Dempsey and all these outstanding runners. It will break for us.
Yeah, of course.
Is where I was heading with it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. The only thing now in hindsight, perhaps, that my concern should have been greater was with that low-scoring first half, we never really got moments in that first half of the game looking like our game. Yeah. The ball movement was quite slow and stagnated at times, or long and high. It wasn't pinging around as much as I would have liked. Now, you think, well, high pressure, it's not going to ping around as much. Yeah, I get that, but the Hawthorn preliminary final, as an example, was still enormous pressure.
Yeah.
But through that, we were able to at least at times go bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Not always a goal, but still get some fluency of movement. The first half had none of that. So maybe my concern antenna should have been a bit up more.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Perhaps the one moment in the first half where that did happen, I felt, was the Oisin Mullen goal.
Yes.
And I remember thinking at the time, that's the kind of thing that is replayed when you win a grand final. Moments like that happening against certain odds, when you've got a roll on the opposition, we turn it over on the wing, and that's the kind of footy we've been so good at. But then as the game went on, unfortunately, the Brisbane Lions had plenty of those moments themselves.
You're right. It's funny that, reflection.
This will go down in history.
Yeah, Oisin Mullen running into open goal, the celebration and all that. Instead, it's Lachie Neale's goal.
I know, exactly right.
To finish the third quarter.
Not too far from where Joel's was, yeah.
Yeah, and midfield-wise, it's not beat around the bush. From probably mid in the third quarter, their midfield took control of the game, and that was always the slight concern coming into the game.
Well, you've spoken about their depth all season,
quality, depth. Levi Ashcroft gave us a little inkling of how good he's going to be, stepping around, nailing a goal from 50. Will wins his second Norm Smith in a row. He's only 21 years of age.
Crazy.
Zach Bailey could have had one of the greatest grand finals in the history of the AFL, with 9 shots at goal, 3 goals, 6.
Shots at goal.
He's 26 years old, I think it is, 25, 26 years of age. So the young mids were just flying across the ground. Yeah. And then, again, this can be all written differently if the result goes a different way. What turned out to be the masterstroke of bringing Lachie Neale on at halftime and was dynamite for a half of a game, and 17 disposals, kicks that goal. Hats off to the Brisbane Lions. They beat us fair and square by us playing some brilliant football. Some of the Cats players, I think, who stood up, I would say early on, Jack Henry, I thought was excellent in the way he was holding up as best he possibly could. Eventually the Avalanche took over.
Yeah, but his ability to... whether he's playing front, lateral side, his timing was on, I felt. I think he almost took a big clunk, maybe that was in the third as well, and he started thinking, oh no, it's slipping a little bit because, as you say, the inside 50s were starting to pile on. But he was great. I messaged you about a pod fave, Jack Bowes, thought he had a great game.
He was terrific, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He never looked overawed by his moments at all. And on a day, again, this is a podcast for honesty, on a day where we did not use the ball well, because of Brisbane's pressure, but also because of just some bad ball use at times, Jack Bowes looked like one who was still seeing the field well, seeing the options well, and executing his skills well under pressure.
Yeah, he was big handball for that first Dempsey goal. Finished the goal himself in the second quarter. Yeah, he was good.
Another one who you mentioned, Dempsey, who you can make the argument there was some of the goals were in junk time. I'm not gonna. He still kicked 4 goals in a grand final. But his battle with Callum Archie was a really fascinating one. I thought Dempsey gave plenty, and our brief moments of opening the game up or that run often involved Ollie Dempsey, and Cal Archie, to his credit, also gave a little bit back the other way. So that
Forgive
was
me for not having rewatched the game. Archie sat on him on the wing for the whole game?
Yeah, pretty much the whole game, yeah. I'm not sure many of our listeners have watched it back, so we can all go by first impressions.
Okay.
Tommy Atkins battled hard in the middle of the ground, absolutely, and I thought Lawson Humphreys showed enough composure. Again, I say that by the end of the game, the back line looked like they were rattled and on the back foot. But when the ball's coming down like it was in the second half, with speed and ease, well, good luck to them. They're not stopping that.
Yeah, and I thought we started to look quite quite young. They gave such a good account of themselves for where they're at in their career. But then you mentioned the names that we've said for Brisbane, and they're already premiership players. They're in their third grand final. But you've got O'Sullivan, Humphreys, Clark. That's
even Sammy De Koning's
still young. Yes, again. So plenty of positivity going forward, but a huge ask for them on the day without their most senior player out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, his absence was felt, certainly, Tom Stewart. I want to, because I don't want to, we can't help but dwell on the fact that it's a disappointment.
Yeah.
It's a missed opportunity. It's a painful memory we're going to have to deal with as Cats fans. The season is a positive one. Perhaps in the second break we can reflect a little bit more on the season. I know some of the questions that we've received are around, best and fairest is on Thursday night this week, and we can look more towards the season then. Before we move on from the grand final, we head to the AFLW because it didn't end up that good a weekend all round at the club. It was, started on Thursday night.
Again, the price you pay for possibly having the best weekend of your life.
Yes. Was the importance now out of this to say, okay, we've had a good season.
Yeah.
We've played 2 really good finals, and we have clearly not delivered in the grand final, is the need to grit the teeth and go again.
Yeah.
But also going to need to add different elements and maybe different looks, because you cannot stand still against anyone in the AFL, let alone a team like the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah. They've got people coming in, so
from if you believe the rumours, it's Oscar Allen and Sam Draper plus the number 5 ranked kid in the draft.
Oh, really?
Who will be who's a Brisbane Lions Academy kid. As I mentioned, Levi and Will are 19 and 21. So they have youth on their side. They're Eric Hipwood's coming back. Kadeen Coleman's coming back. Jared Berry's still got to come back into that lineup. Not to frighten us on this podcast, but it goes to show if you want to win one next year, you're going to have to be very, very good, and that's the challenge for the Cats. Yeah,
it certainly is. I think you say all those things and then we think, wow, gosh, it was a great effort to get there against them and to beat them in the qualifying final. But the club is optimistic. I think this is, generally speaking, optimism is such a hallmark of this footy department. Tricky at this time of the year. But we've mentioned some of our youth out on the ground. Bailey Smith had an unbelievable first year in the hoops, and you can presume will only get better from here on out. So no reason not to be really positive and presume it will happen again. I think our recent history makes us trust that, but nothing's guaranteed in footy either.
No, it's not. One thing on the health front, obviously Jeremy Cameron, broken arm. Yeah, ouch is right.
I just thought there was a still photo that I saw after that tackle, and I thought, that man is in so much pain.
Serious agony.
Yeah.
It shows how tough and brave he is. We marvel at his skill and his athleticism, but he's as tough as they come. And then I think Chris Scott spoke after the game around the wrestle of the sub. Is it broken? Can he go? Is it sore? Is it what do we do? Do we leave him for a bit more? But we need to make the sub. Is it Reece? Is it? And that wasn't something that was helping.
No.
Us move forward, but hopefully Jez had surgery, is it? Or not sure, producer Jakey. I'm sure the club will release a bit more information on that, but hopefully he heals up okay. Yeah. Tom Stewart, of course, still in the concussion protocols and going through everything there, so hopefully he heals up okay, so those two can hit their off-season and then ultimately the pre-season in good health. I don't want to talk too much more about the grand final.
No, let's move on to another
That's
loss.
All right. You realise that this podcast would have gone for 3.5 hours had the Cats won? So maybe slightly shorter than that. We will go to Thursday night, and we won't dwell on this one either. The Cats AFLW, unfortunately, going down by 7 points against the Hawks here at GMHBA Stadium. Thursday night footy. On a chilly night.
Chilly night. We were both there. You called the game for 7. Did you? I know the broadcast was from the other side. Which side were you?
No, we called it from the other side as well, which was.
Right. I was trying to make eye contact with you across the stadium. I was like, where is he?
This is going to seem so precious and not that big an issue, but when you are so used to calling from one side of the ground, it becomes quite confusing.
Yeah, and then you're watching it back. It's weird as well because you because I watched from the other side. Yeah, anyway, no biggie, guys, but...
The team started really well. Georgie Prespakis was fantastic early. The forward line looked like it was functioning really well. Yep. But Hawthorn's run just got over the top and got away with the win.
Yeah, they did. That's 2 years in a row now where we've felt like we can say, we were part of a great game of footy against the Hawks, but we weren't victors. Yeah, at halftime I thought, I can see our pressure on the footy and our pressure on their ball movement. We knew going in that they like to possess the ball in defence. They'll chip it around. They'll get numbers back to support. And I thought we pressured it and tipped it over well. But they stuck to their guns, and we spent a few too many tickets in the first half, I think.
Their key forwards did look dangerous in the end. McDonald was fantastic for the Hawks, and obviously they ultimately piled on the goals a little bit late and ran over the top. The next game is back here at GMHBA Stadium, which is great, with a run of games at home for the team against Carlton this Saturday, 3:05 p.m. So I
hope it's Sunday.
Oh.
It's Sunday, guys.
Oh, producer Jakey's made a mistake on our rundown here. That's his first for the year.
They couldn't possibly have a 12-day break or whatever it is, but we do, an 11-day break.
No, it's okay, Jakey. We forgive you. We're all still shattered about Saturday. So this Sunday, October 5th at 3:05 p.m. at GMHBA Stadium. So come along, cheer the team on. So 3-4 we are at the moment.
3-4. On Sunday morning we were still in the 8 miraculously, but two teams... St Kilda came from a fair way behind to win, and West Coast got it done as well. So, we're a win out at the moment, but feeling as you saw, like our best footy's good enough. We just need to find ways to make it sustainable. Yeah,
absolutely. So come check out that game. Cheer the team on. Let's get them to the finals. Let's get the team to the finals. Let's go through another finals campaign, please. Yes. While we're at it too, before we take a break, the 2026 memberships are available for purchase now. Head to membership.geelongcats.com.au to sign up. And also, make sure you tune into the 2025 Cargie Greaves medal event via the Geelong Cats website this Thursday night. Are you off to the Cargie Greaves?
I will not be off to the Cargie Greaves this season. We're just in the midst of the season, so contributing but not there in person at this stage.
That is hard for you, and a lot of the team is just balancing that demands of what you've got to go to function-wise for the men's program, grand final week, all that. But just smack bang in the middle of
we're smack bang in the middle of the season, and it's interesting negotiating the sort of emotional stakes as well. So as we said, lose Thursday night, I think that's okay, we're in for a great weekend. It's going to be great. Go to the function in the morning. Would have celebrated the win with the boys, I'm sure, but ultimately weren't too sorry to get an early night and feel good on Sunday and get cracking on our own week.
It's funny how the result changed a lot of people's plans.
Yes, I know.
I had a big night on the town planned. Yeah. I made the mistake of going home to put the kids to bed, and I popped my tracky dacks on.
Oh no!
And I was never getting back into my going out kit. I didn't leave the couch. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a break. Let's talk the whole season and a few reflections up next. Winning a three-peat isn't easy, but at GMHBA Health Insurance, that's exactly what we've done. By winning the 2024 CanStar Outstanding Value Hospital Cover in Victoria 3 years running.
GMHBA have been caring for the Geelong community since 1934 and are proud supporters of the mighty Geelong Cats. Join at gmhba.com.au.
Welcome back to The Final Bell, proudly presented by GMHBA, the official health insurance partner of the Geelong Cats. We love their support. Okay, as I mentioned before, the health update with Jez's broken arm, please check out the actual health update on the Cats website or any of their social media channels. It is always the most reliable way to get the information rather than me and Meg guessing what's going on. So do check it out. I want to get to a couple of these. These are questions, prompts to reflect on the season. I know we're in the shattered, disappointing mode that we are right now because it's so soon after the grand final. But there is a point in time where I think all Cats fans and myself and you, Meg, will be able to appreciate the terrific season that the team has had and know that it is so good having a well-coached, high-quality team that puts us at the pointy end of the season time and time again. So using these prompts, surprise package of the season.
Surprise package of the season, I'm going to go with, because if we go back to, around 10, 12, I think Dangerfield was looking like an All-Australian full forward. So is it a surprise that he's one of the best players the game's ever seen? Is he a surprise that he can do that kind of thing? Possibly not, but he's 35 years old, going on 36, and he was the most powerful athlete in the game at that point. So I'll go with Danger.
Love that. Love it.
Yeah.
A little, I suppose this shouldn't necessarily be a surprise package because it makes sense with his running capability, smartness and his ball use. But I'm maybe thinking back to even 3 years ago, and this is a premiership player.
Yeah.
I never thought Brian Myers would become a midfielder.
Yeah, love that.
Now, I get he still is a half forward, a high half forward, but he spent so much time through the middle of the ground chunks of the season and did it so well. I just wasn't sure, body size wise or whatever it might be, that it would translate to a midfield game. And I love that he has that string to his bow now. And as we looked for ways to round out our midfield, Shawnee Manor obviously does it really well too. He's another one, but I could kind of see his attributes translating to midfield play. I'll be honest, a couple of years ago I thought Gryan is an elite, outstanding small forward, high half forward, not necessarily a midfielder. That was a really nice surprise to see him jump to that part of his game.
Yeah, I remember speaking to the coaching group. Might have been in a pre-game briefing around the time that they were doing that and looking into it. And I just think it speaks to the strengths-based approach that the coaching staff go with, which, you love to see. There's no doubt he's giving up something being in there. He's not. He doesn't have the size of your modern-day midfielder. But what could you possibly gain from a player like that? As you say, adding a different dimension to the midfield, it was awesome.
Speed of foot, ball use, creative ball use.
I love watching him run. Gosh, he's such an outstanding runner.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you know if he was a runner growing up? Because he seems to just have been that determined to make it a weapon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's an athlete's background. You hear like some of the others, it's more high profile. Yeah. What I do know is even when he first started talking to some of the coaches at the time, they're like, he's one of our best runners. Yeah, he's one of our best road run, best 2K time trial time, 3K, whatever, 5K, whatever they were doing back then, a 15-minute run. Gryan is elite in that area. And just teaching him the patterns so he could use it effectively was important, and clearly he's done that one. Next prompt, most improved.
I'm going to go with the man we were talking about in the break, Scratch Shannon Neal.
Good call.
I feel like
a lot of pressure on him too, coming in straight after Hawke.
And yes, we're speaking about it after a game where he's played on or been played on by probably the best current fullback in the game, and captain of the opposition team. But how many he would have finished with? Did he crack the 50 goals wise?
Just under.
Producer Jake's having a look. He was in the 40s though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Mind you, sorry, he got beaten by Harris Andrews, no question. Because I thought Harris might have won the Norm Smith. We laced out Harris Andrews a lot of times when I thought Scratch had made decent position to at least be
44 goals
there. So. It'll go down as he was badly beaten by Harris. I get that. But gee, we didn't make it easy for Shannon.
So I think he's got an if you think back to the start of the year and the question marks about how he was going to step into Hawke's shoes, he's 22. He's 22 years old as a key forward. He's going to grow in terms of how he comes up against the best defender, and how the best interceptor in the team any given week will try to go to him. But massive improvement in his year, and I'll see who you're going to say before I nominate someone else.
I want to know, can I have as most improved somebody who won the AFL Rising Star last year?
Go for it.
Because I thought Ollie Dempsey jumped to a whole different level. I was honestly, and I hope I wasn't seen as having my Homer hat on,
the All-Australian.
I wanted him on the All-Australian wing.
Yeah.
He was...
Was he in this? He wasn't even in the squad, was he?
No, which blew my mind because he is a genuine winger who would appear in the defensive goal square to help out, and then what felt like seconds later would appear in the offensive goal square popping through another goal.
Yeah.
And overhead marking, elite speed, elite endurance, smarts, the lot. I thought he jumped to a different level of football. And considering he won the Rising Star, that's impressive.
Yeah, I was... do you think he has a future in the midfield? I know that there's an openness to that, or do you sort of love what he brings on the outside?
I think He's not he does bring structure to the wing, but he's not what you'd term the structural winger who was just all about running patterns and that was it, and up and down and not doing a hell of a lot with when the ball's in his area. There's those who exist in the AFL. I get it. They got a role to play.
Yeah.
He is that elite on the wing with what he can do, marking, running, ball use, goal kicking. I think you could keep him on a wing and he would damage like the best wingers in the I'm talking in recent history.
Yeah, well, high praise. I was going to also mention Connor O'Sullivan, speaking of Rising Stars. I know many, perhaps with some bias, would have thought he would have finished higher up in that vote count, but I mean, he ends the season. He started the season with one game to his name. Now he's playing on grand final day, having some of the biggest matchups in the comp. I think he was leading intercept possession getter for the year. Huge to be a key position player like that, and to think about his potential is exciting.
Yeah, it certainly is. Good shout. This one, best individual moment of the season. This might test the memory a little bit.
I've got two that I thought of. I think Sean Manor winning Easter Monday.
Yes.
That goal.
With that
thought that was a great moment. And 4 goals in 90 seconds or whatever.
Jack Martin.
Jack Martin. Perhaps not as consequential a moment, but a record-breaking one nonetheless.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. My mind is racing right now, and I'm struggling to come up with. I possibly should have done what a professional would do and actually look ahead and prepared, but
surely
my headspace
Ollie
isn't
would have
quite
one
there.
or two.
Yeah, given my fallback is just to go to Ollie Dempsey because I love. I kept. Oh, my son is so sick of me going on and on about Ollie Dempsey. I'm like, Ollie, see Ollie? Ollie, he's like, I get it, Dad. I know. I realise Ollie plays for the Cats. You don't have to point it out.
Danger prelim, danger Adelaide. That was that fourth quarter. He won that game.
I think the prelim, and given we are coming off a losing grand final, I'm searching for the next most recent joy in my life. But beating Hawthorn and the way we came back, let's just say that. But individual-wise, I'll have to say Dangerfield's game in that one. BNF, so it happens on Thursday night. It'll be a tight one. So Bailey Smith leads the Cats in the Brownlow voting. Max Holmes pretty close behind him. Bailey Smith's All-Australian. Max Holmes was in the squad of the All-Australian, I think, 44. Can I throw a few names just while Jeremy Cameron wins the Coleman medal. Tom Atkins, superb throughout the course of the season.
They were the ones I had for you. Well, Ollie Dempsey's got to have some votes.
Dempsey, yes. All right, give me 1, 2, 3. You're placing in the best and fairest.
3 Smith, 2 Cameron, 1 Holmes.
We're not talking about votes there. You're saying
sorry, that's
place
place. Third
Smith,
place, yeah. My reverse order.
2 Cameron,
3, 2, 1.
Exactly the same as I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, no, hang on.
I would love, I don't
Tom
play
Atkins.
favourites, but I would love Tom Atkins to win it. I know.
I don't think he'll win it.
Yeah.
But can Atkins place? Oh, it's a big ask to knock out a guy who's kicked nearly 90 goals in a season. And Bailey Smith's going to get a heap. I agree with you, Max Holmes wins it. That's my tip for the win. I'll go second place. Yeah, okay, I'll go second place. Jez, third place. Bailey. Tom Atkins, fourth. Okay. And I feel like that's like it feels so like I pushed him right down the order.
I know.
But yeah, okay, I'll give him fourth. Fifth place. Ollie Dempsey.
Okay, love.
Oh, mind you, Zach
Guthrie was pretty good.
Zach Guthrie finished second last year. Thank you, producer Jakey. So he will a proven vote getter.
I know.
Well, it'll be well deserved. I know one of the most special wins you can have is a best and fairest in a premiership year, but a best and fairest in a team that makes the grand final and has such a positive season, despite how we're all feeling right now, would be wonderful recognition of a job well done. Meg, I reckon we've done a job well done. So throughout this podcast, this one in particular,
producer Jake.
Yes, huge thank you to producer Jakey who gets all this organised for us. Clearly, as the number of times we refer to him, actually has all the information and does all the work.
Let
Meg,
alone all the other work he does.
It's a pleasure doing it with you every single week. Good luck for the rest of the AFLW season.
Thank you.
I will go a little off script here and say I can't wait to see you back out there playing.
Thank you, mate.
That'll be fantastic. I think your leadership continues to be outstanding as you have gritted your teeth, and the competitor that you are wants to be playing, but you've kept showing incredible leadership, and I can't wait to see that leadership out on the field. We will hopefully be back, you and I, next year.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll go into contract negotiations.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Once they lock us into a 7-year deal, and then we won't be trying to get out of it after 2 or 3 years, player movement at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can trust us.
No, hopefully, but good luck for the rest of the season for you, Meg.
Thank you. Have a great end to 2025.
Thank you to everyone who's listened to us. Thank you to GMHBA for all of their support. Just keep licking those wounds. We'll be okay. The team will be back next year, ready to compete and hopefully go one better. Thanks a lot.